Welcome to Visera Link webinar number 6 on the systems report. In this webinar, we're going to talk about everything that has to do with the systems report, how to understand it, the list of biomarkers, product recommendations, you name it, we're going to cover it. But first, important, Visera Link does not identify, diagnose, or treat any disease or medical condition. So it's very important that all of us understand what a link scan is not. And this part's very important so we can explain it properly to the people we scan. So a link scan is not saying that there is something wrong with you, and it is not diagnosing any illnesses or diseases. So before the scan, before you send a scan to anybody, it's very important that people you scan understand the following points. Explain to them that the scan is not diagnostic. Explain to them that the scan is not looking for what's wrong with them. Explain to them that the scan has to do with our everyday wellness journey. The same way we take care of our car by changing the oil and other maintenance, a link scan helps identify biomarkers that we can prioritize. After identifying biomarkers that can be prioritized, the scan will recommend products that support those biomarkers, and we will also set goals on ways to better support those biomarkers through daily habits and lifestyle. And the biomarkers that show up on the report, they're affected by everyday life. Things like diet and nutrition, emotions, environment, stress, relationships, employment, sleep, fitness level, and many other factors. But in short, an out-of-range biomarker does not mean that something is wrong with you. It's just part of our everyday wellness journey. So now let's go right into the systems report. When you look at the systems report, it's going to include many different body systems and lifestyle areas, such as the following 4 core body systems: detoxification, gastrointestinal, hormonal endocrine, and immune. And these 6 lifestyle areas: diet and nutrition, hydration, inflammation, mental stress, sleep, and toxic stress. And of course, it also covers emotions. So here's a list of all the different body systems and lifestyle areas, as well as the emotions that are included in the systems report. But here's the beautiful thing. You see that red heart right there. That shows up because, as you know from the previous webinar, a link scan also gets into all these different heart-related measurements, like heart rate variability, heart rate, breathing rate, even mental stress index, and more. So not only is it scanning these different body systems and lifestyle areas, but it's also factoring in these heart-related measurements, making a link scan a well-rounded scan, and it takes scanning to the next level, because the heart has a relationship and a connection with everything in the body. So when you look at the app itself, this is how the systems report looks like. You'll know that you're in the systems report because you'll see a blue line under where it says systems. Well, anyway, you're going to see the different body systems that we just mentioned. As you continue scrolling down, you're going to see the different lifestyle areas. Scroll down some more, you'll see the rest, and then you'll see the emotions on the bottom. Now, every single one of these has a full page dedicated to it that's going to give you even more information about that specific body system or lifestyle area. So in this example, let's go ahead and focus on the detox system. So if you touch the detox system, not the checkbox, we'll talk about the checkboxes later on. So touch anywhere in the detox system except the checkbox for now, and that is going to take you to a page dedicated to the detox system. Up on the top, you're going to see the biomarkers. Then you're going to see a list of recommended products. And in this webinar, I'm using a neutral product company. So obviously for you, if you selected your specific brand of supplements or essential oils, those products will be recommended on this list. And then right below that, you see a list of biomarkers. And if you continue scrolling down, you'll see the rest of the biomarkers. So let's talk about these really quick. So the biomarkers, when you touch that little blue arrow that's in that area, it will give you a brief description or explanation or definition of what that specific body system is. Right below that, you'll see the products, and you'll see numbers next to the different products. The numbers represent how many biomarkers that specific product will bring into range. And then right below that, you see the list of biomarkers. Now, when you look at the list of biomarkers at face value, this might look a little confusing because you're seeing these bars and these numbers and you're thinking, well, what does that even mean? Well, let's go ahead and get into that. When you look at the list of biomarkers, you want to look at the color orange. Ignore the numbers right now, okay? Just ignore the numbers. Just focus on the bar and look at the color orange. The biomarkers that have the most orange are the most out of range. It's that simple. So if you look at this example right here, which one of these two biomarkers, respiratory system or chemicals, which one of the two is the most out of range? Well, it's pretty simple. The one with the most orange. Now, in this case, only the one on the bottom has orange, so it's easy to tell which one. So let's look at a different example. Here's one where all three have orange, but which one is the most out of range? Again, it's simple. Which one has the most orange? Chemicals. Which one has the second amount of orange? Cardiovascular system. So that one's the second most out of range out of these three. And then diet and nutrition. Do you see how easy it is to identify which ones are the most out of range? And now let's go ahead and talk about these numbers really quick. The numbers, actually, you're probably not even going to use them. I don't really use them anymore because see, before we added these bars right here, the biomarker with the highest number is the one that was the most out of range. And you'll see that that corresponds perfectly right here. The one with the most orange has the highest number. The second highest number is the second one with the most orange, and then it goes in that order. So now we added these bars to add a quick, easy visual aid so you can identify really fast which ones are the most out of range. But guess what? It gets even easier because when we go back and zoom out and look at the full list of biomarkers, you're going to notice that up here on the top where this little yellow arrow is pointing, you're going to notice that there's that little button. If you touch it, it's going to give you this menu right here. Now, this menu right here is important because it's going to let you sort the list of biomarkers instead of alphabetical order, the way it does it by default. You'll be able to sort it based on which biomarkers are the most out of range from top to bottom. So to do this, select the third option from the top. So this one with the yellow arrow. And when you touch it, the biomarkers are going to be sorted based on which one is the most out of range from top to bottom. So that is how easy it is to identify which biomarkers are the most out of range. It's that simple. And we will go back to biomarkers later on in this video. For now, I just wanted to show you how easy it is to identify which one is the most out of range. Anyway, whenever you're navigating the Link app, you're going to see that there's a little arrow whenever you need to go back to the previous screen, which is what we'll do right now. And that'll take us back to the main systems report. So that's how easy it is to view additional information on any of these. Just touch it, it'll take you to the page, and then when you're done, just touch the back button and it'll bring you right back. So now the question is, you just saw that inside of the detox system, it recommended 5 products. So now you're probably asking yourself, okay, that's cool, but does that mean that every single one of these body systems and lifestyle areas also recommend 5 products each? Guess what? The answer is yes. So then you're thinking, okay, that's going to be tough to figure out which products to recommend because that's 5 products for each body system and lifestyle area. So how do I do it so I don't feel overwhelmed? What do I need to do to know which products to recommend? That's where the check boxes come in. So the check boxes are crucial because you are going to identify which body systems and lifestyle areas are the most out of range. You are going to select the checkbox for those body systems and lifestyle areas. And then I'm going to show you what happens next. But before I show you what happens, I need to teach you how to identify which body systems and lifestyle areas are the most out of range, so that way you'll know which ones to select. So product recommendations in the systems report. Step number 1, identify areas of focus. And to do that, you're going to notice that every single one of these body systems and lifestyle areas has a circle next to it. You're going to notice that the circles have a green bar that starts at the 12 o'clock mark and it goes clockwise. So what you want to do is you want to select the ones that have the lowest amount of green. It's that simple. So the ones that have the lowest amount of green are the ones that you will select the checkbox for. And to make this even easier visually, I like to divide the circle into 4 segments in my mind. So then as I'm scrolling down trying to figure out which ones to select, I'm going to select the ones that have the color green that remains in segment number 1. So then you're not trying to remember where all of them are at. You're just thinking, okay, I'm going to scroll down from top to bottom. I'm going to select a checkbox for any where the color green stays in segment number 1. Now, you will come across scenarios where you might have 2, 3, or 4 where the color green stays in the first half of segment number 1, and you might have some where the color green goes almost all the way to the 3 o'clock mark. So if you have quite a few that look like this example right here, where the color green stays in the first half of segment number 1, that's where I would start selecting. You need to select at least 2 in order for this to work. So that's how easy it is. Just in your mind, divide it into 4 and select the ones that stay in segment number 1. So we did that right here. Now, when you actually select them in the app, you'll see a blue check mark inside of the actual checkbox itself. Anyway, as soon as you select the ones you want, and it's going to be different every time. Sometimes it might be 3, sometimes 4, sometimes 5, for example. But as soon as you select 2, this blue button that says compare is going to show up. So then all you do is you touch that blue button that says compare. And what that's doing is it's saying to the algorithm, hey, here in this case, we selected 5. It's saying, hey, I want to focus on these 5 body systems and lifestyle areas. So algorithm, I need you to look at these body systems and lifestyle areas and any out of range biomarkers that fall inside of them and give me the best product recommendations that will support those biomarkers. So when you touch the compare button, it's going to do this. It's going to take you to this page. On the top, it'll show you the icons for the body systems and lifestyle areas you selected. Right below that, it's going to recommend the top 5 products that will cover these bases. Do you see how easy that was? Instead of going into each one of these one by one and looking at the 5 products for each as an individual and you figuring it out, all you did is you selected them, you touched that blue compare button, and here you go. This is where you recommend products from based on the systems report. And right below that, it's going to show you the individual product recommendations for each of these that you selected. Why does it do that? Well, it's simple, because you're going to recommend products from this top section right here, because this is what's going to cover these bases. But there might be one of these 5, in this case 5 that I selected, there might be one of these 5 that you want to support even more. So then recommend products from up here, and then go down to the body system or lifestyle area that you want to support even more, and maybe you recommend the top product for that specific body system. So now you're recommending products that will cover all bases, plus an additional one that will get one of these. But that's only if there's a scenario where you feel like that's something you need to do. If not, you can just ignore these sections down here and just focus up here. So that's how easy it is to recommend products using the systems report. But now we're going to talk about something else. It has to do with setting goals with the person you scan. Because that's one of the things you're going to notice about Visera Link. Not only does it recommend the top products that you can recommend to the people you scan, but it's also going to give you information that will allow you to set goals with the person you're scanning. So it's a very well-rounded scan. So let's talk about setting goals with people and what you look at to determine which goals you should set. So here we go, goal setting. So first, identify areas of focus. So this is just going to go back to the body systems and lifestyle areas you selected. So pick 1 or 2 out of the ones you selected, 1 or 2 that have the lowest amount of green, or if a client specifically says, oh, I want to focus on this body system right here. So that's how you'll determine which ones you want to focus on. And again, for this goal setting part, I would say focus on maybe 1 or 2. That's it. The 1 or 2 with the lowest amount of green, or again, if your client says there's one they specifically want to focus on. So once you identify which ones you're going to focus on or which one, what you do is this. Go into that specific body system. So you'll touch it. So it'll take you to the page dedicated to that body system. And then you will set goals for the top 1, maybe 2 biomarkers that are the most out of range. So again, you'll go into that specific body system page. You'll touch this button that sorts it from most to least out of range, and then set goals for the top biomarker that's the most out of range, or if you feel like it, the top 2. But if you want to keep it simple as you're starting this process, you can just focus on the top one. Now, I do need to make a very, very important clarification. The biomarker list is not saying you have something wrong with those specific biomarkers. It is simply highlighting that based on your scan, those are key biomarkers you can focus on that will support that specific body system. And I'm going to say it one more time. The biomarker list is not saying you have something wrong with those specific biomarkers. It is simply highlighting that based on your scan, those are key biomarkers you can focus on that will support that specific body system. So now you're recommending products that will support that body system, and you're setting goals having to do with specific biomarkers that are being highlighted that will support that body system even more. So how do you set goals? What's the process? Well, let's show you. So for example, let's say that the immune system is the one that you want to focus on, and you sort them from most out of range to least out of range, and spleen shows up as at the top. Well, here's how you set goals. All you do is you talk to your client on ways that they can support their spleen. Do you see how easy that is? So drink plenty of water, exercise regularly, maintain a healthy weight, and eat a balanced diet. That is it. That is it. That's how simple it is. So once you identify, once again, which body system or lifestyle area you want to focus on, go to that page, sort the biomarkers from most out of range to least out of range, and then whichever one shows up on top, set goals on how to support that biomarker through daily habits and lifestyle. So do you see how powerful this is? You're recommending products, number one. And now you're also setting goals on what they can do with their daily habits and lifestyle that will also support the top biomarker, which in turn will support that body system. Another example, let's say that the top biomarker is artificial sugars and sweeteners. Again, set goals on that specific biomarker. So for this one, if they are using a lot of artificial sugars and sweeteners, you can recommend to them that they maybe pull back a little bit on that. And if they say they're not using artificial sugars and sweeteners, good, keep it that way. Do you see how simple this is? Another example, if vitamins is the one that shows up as the top biomarker when you sort them from most out of range to least out of range, set goals having to do with vitamins. So with this one, it's a matter of asking probing questions because there's so many different scenarios. For example, it could be a person that does not eat healthy. They don't take multivitamins. So the goal is obvious, right? But then it could be a person who does not eat healthy, but they do take a daily multivitamin. When that scenario, as we all know, taking a multivitamin supplement daily does not mean that the person can eat junk food and processed food nonstop now, because the multivitamin is not going to be enough to replace a terrible diet. So then you just set a goal with them. Okay, you know what? Keep doing your multivitamin, but you also need to consume vitamins through the food you eat. So let's set some goals right there. Or it could be another scenario where the person does eat healthy, but they eat the same thing over and over, meaning they might just be getting the same types of vitamins over and over, and they might not be eating enough healthy food that has other vitamins and minerals that are also crucial, like maybe iron or things like that. So it's just a matter of diversifying your healthy diet a little bit more. So there's so many different scenarios that they can look into as far as setting goals having to do with vitamins. So when you look at the top biomarker that's the most out of range, it's really an area of focus. That's the best way you can look at it. It's just saying, hey, this is an area where you can focus even more on setting goals having to do with your daily habits and lifestyle that will better support that body system. So combine that with the products that I'm recommending to you, and you have a well-rounded plan. And we'll go ahead and wrap up right here. So if you do have any questions, feel free to contact us. If you're an existing Visera customer, here's the contact information for billing, tech support, and general support. Or if you have training or sales questions, meaning you want to refer somebody, then contact us right here, and we're more than happy to help. This is where you can find us on social media. Make sure you follow us because we do post different helpful things such as tips and special promotions and giveaways. So follow us on social media. And make sure you watch the next webinar because the next one will go into the products report. So thanks for watching.